Perfect. So good morning, everyone. Thank you guys for being here for, we're going to talk about Facebook. We're going to talk about leads. We're going to talk about some really, really good stuff today. So what I'd love to know, just so I kind of have an understanding of who we have here, is if you guys don't mind, while you're just jumping in, if you can just drop in chat, just a yes or a no. Have you ever, and if you guys are in a room with a bunch of people, if you can just mute yourself while you're coming in, that would be awesome. If you have ever run a Facebook ad through command, so just a yes or a no, if you can drop that in chat for me, just so that I have an understanding. Okay, so we've got some yeses, lots of no's. Okay, so I'm so excited you guys are here. Hi, no.
I can get the audio.
So just make sure you guys are muting yourself if you're in a room with a lot of people. Okay, so we've got kind of a mixture there. Some of you, yes, so that's awesome. In office. Oh, Angela, you got people in the office. Awesome. Not an ad, created a post. Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you guys for answering that. I appreciate it. So just before we jump in, if I've never had the pleasure of meeting you, my name is Sydney Seymour. I'm the regional technology trainer for the Carolinas region, serving North Carolina as well as South Carolina. And today we're going to talk all about Facebook ads, and we're going to talk about what to do. We might talk about what not to do. We're going to talk about some best practices. We've got a really great number of people here on the call, so thank you all for jumping on for our monthly regional command workshop. And I see we have market centers that are here as well. So hello to everyone that's in market centers. Really great to see you guys. I'm going to have the chat open the entire session on my other computer. So number one, if you would like to, feel free to unmute yourself. If you would like to ask a question or add anything, feel free to do that. If you're more comfortable typing that in chat or putting questions or just kind of responses in chat, that's completely fine as well. So whatever your preference is for that. And then just so you guys know, we are recording this, and this class will be available after we're done on our YouTube channel, which I'll post a link to that in just a moment. But if you just go to YouTube and search for KW Carolinas region, you'll be able to find us, and we post all of our regional command workshops there. So we're going to go ahead and get started because I want to make sure that I stick with time. And I actually have a really special treat for you guys that I'm going to drop in chat. So this is what you get for being here in person for this class. And so I'm going to drop this in chat. It's ad examples. And so this is from a mastermind that I was a part of. These are 4 recent ads that performed, excuse me, that performed very, very well. So we've got a PDF of 4 different ads that agents ran. The final one is a recruiting ad, so for a market center to run. And what you'll notice, feel free to download that, use that for your own business as well. What's interesting, what you'll notice is all of them are around listings. So all of them are around inventory. So what we really see performing right now in the market that we're in is anything that has to do with listings. And so what I would love to hear from all of you, and again, just type your responses in chat for me, is what's the average days on market of a property in your area? So if you know that information, if you guys would just drop that in the chat for me, what's the average days on market for homes before they're going pending or under contract in your market? So we've got like 1 to 3 days, 3, 1 to 7, 3 to 6, 5. Okay, so it looks like we're talking about within a week. That
drop in the chat. Oops.
Is potentially going under contract. So if we can think about making sure that we're always marketing to the moment that we're in. And so if we think about maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, when we were looking at that average time of a listing going under contract was like 30, 45, sometimes 60 days. And so if we're thinking about what are all of the opportunities that we had during that time to market that property, right? So we could say a listing went live today. And so we have, here's a new listing on the market. We could put that on Facebook. We're having an open house. We could put that on Facebook. We're having a broker's open. That could go on social media. We're talking about perhaps it went under contract and these are the happy buyers. We've got that. So we had all of these opportunities to market. We had the closing table, right? Because we had all of those different things and we had that time to market it. And now, just like what you guys are saying in the chat, we have a week to market a listing and to get all of that out. So we can still continue to do those touches, right? We can say we've got a new listing, it went under contract, we're looking for inventory. We can do all of that, yet we're in such a fast-paced moving market that sometimes we just don't have the time for that. And Ariel, thanks for dropping that in the chat again with those ad examples. I appreciate that. So it's important that when we're running an ad, the first thing that we're really talking about is how are we going to follow up with those leads from that ad? What I think sometimes we make the mistake of doing is we just go in and run the ad. We don't have the follow-up system in place yet. So it might seem a little backwards. However, in this workshop together, we're actually going to talk about the follow-up before we even create the ad. So we're going to talk about the smart plan that we might want to have and use prior to the ad, because we just want to automate as much as we possibly can. So I'm going to just share my screen and we're going to dive into Command. And again, I will move the chat so that I'll have that up on a different monitor. So I'll be able to look at that at any time. And if at any time anybody has questions or discussion, I'll pause and ask for questions or conversation around anything. This is your class, your time. So please, please, please feel free to do that. So with that being said, we are going to dive in and start rolling. Give me 1 second. All right. So if someone can just maybe give me a thumbs up if you're on camera, or just drop yes in chat if you guys are able to see my command screen. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Perfect. And let me just move some things around so we can see. Okay, awesome. I see your yeses. Thank you guys. I'll keep checking in on some things. So thank you. I appreciate that. So again, we're going to talk about smart plans first. And I wanted to, again, for those of you that are here, I wanted to really deliver a great training experience and some actionable items for you. So what I've done is I actually created a smart plan that you can use for any Facebook lead follow-up. And I published it to the library and I will show you how to access it. So yes, you can create your own custom smart plan if you would like. Yes, there's tons of them in the library. I created one specifically for all of you so that you don't have to take the time actually creating it yourself. You're welcome to go in and to download it and to use it in your business. So I have logged into Command just prior to the workshop, which as a reminder, we can get to Command by just going to agent.kw.com. You're going to have a username and a password that's going to gain access into Command. When we're in Command, we can click on this red box right up here at the top left at any time, and that kind of opens up that window for us. So if you're not familiar with all of the little pictures of the applets yet, it allows you to see the name of the applets next to them and what we need to work on. So we're going to talk about smart plans first, because you'll see if you haven't created a Facebook ad, maybe in the last month or so, there's a brand new feature that allows you to stay top of mind and to really jump on those leads the second that they come in. And so we want to look at smart plans first. So to do that, all I'm going to do is click on the little button that says smart plans. And it's going to take me into all of my smart plans. Now, remember that smart plans can be a mixture of task reminders for you to do something. It can be a reminder for you to make a phone call. If we're using Twilio, which is a third-party company, it can be an automatic text message that goes out. It can be automatic emails that go out. So if we're thinking about this with the mindset of, I'm going to run a Facebook ad, perhaps around a listing, and I immediately want to follow up with those leads, we would probably want to be reaching out to them pretty often to be able to convert that lead. And so the smart plan that I've created for you, if you go into the library, now you can search by the smart plan name, you can search by the author name, or you can search by the description. We will do the smart plan name, and I'm just going to search for Carolinas. Tried to make it really easy. So we're going to search for Carolinas, and you'll see right here on my screen, it's the second one that comes up. It might be a little bit different for you. It's got the name is Carolinas Facebook Lead Smart Plan. Now, again, you don't have to use this one. I just wanted to make it really easy for you. All of you have amazing Market Center tech trainers that are out of your Market Center, and they might also have smart plans that they've created for you. So definitely check with them. However, if you want one that's really easy, that has just some nice, simple steps in there, this is one that I did create specifically for all of you. So I'll actually go in, if you would like to add this to your library, all that you have to do is click right here on the button that says Add Smart Plan, and that's then going to take that smart plan and add it to your library. So then you're able to use it for any of your business. So again, all you have to do is come in, if you just search under library, under smart plan, if you just search under Carolinas, and then it's Carolinas Facebook Lead Smart Plan, and then we want to just click Add Smart Plan right there. Now let's talk about what the steps of this smart plan look like. So to do that, I'll actually just pull up where I can go in and edit it, and I'll show you what all of the steps are.
Question on that. When I downloaded the smart plan, it added 2 other smart plans, the monthly neighborhood and quarterly call plan. Is that accurate?
Yes. Yeah. Because you'll see at the end, that's a great question. At the end, I actually added the people onto those other smart plans as well. Yeah. Great question. So here's what the smart plan looks like. And again, you can customize as much as you would like once you've added this to the library. So the first thing is to make a phone call. So we know with Facebook, it's speed to lead. So the first thing that we're going to get is we're going to get a task reminder to us to make a phone call. In that task reminder, it's going to show you the contact first name and the contact last name. So you'll actually be able to click on this from the task list, and that'll take you into the contact record card. So you'll see all of the history, what Facebook campaign they came from. I've just got a task description down here. I'm letting you know that they're a Facebook lead. It does say, hi, this is agent name. I see you clicked on the property on Facebook. This is just kind of a juggling of your memory of where they came from. However, remember, we can make changes. So if they didn't come from a listing ad, if we did something different, we would just want to have that conversation. Then it's going to wait 1 day. And then it's going to send an email. And this is a copy of Work With Me buyers. Now, again, we could change this email if we find it's kind of a different thing for that. And we can change the subject line if we'd like up here. Then it's going to wait another day. And then it is going to send an automatic text message if you're using Twilio. Otherwise, this will come across to you as a task that you need to complete, that you would need to text that specific lead. Then it's going to wait another day. Then it's going to have a task, and we might say we want to find them on Facebook and like or comment or engage with them and add those details to the contact record. Then it's going to send another email all about your consumer app. So really encouraging them to download the KW app so then you can see what they're looking at in real time. It's going to wait another day, and then it's going to tell you to make a phone call. We've got a full kind of task description there. Then it's going to wait 10 days. It's going to add them to that quarterly call plan. So it's going to remind you to call them at least once a quarter. And then it's going to add them also to the monthly neighborhood nurture plan, as long as we have a neighborhood associated with them. So ideally, from all of these check-ins and all of these conversations, we would have found some additional information out about the lead. And then this is really just that suggested lead follow-up. Things might change. We might find that, yes, they are a buyer. However, they're waiting 6 months. And so we might add them to a save search. We might add them to a monthly neighborhood nurture, some different things than we have here. So again, this is just kind of that engagement that's really heavy in the beginning. And then we can kind of customize the follow-up from there moving forward. So again, first thing that we want to do is add whatever smart plan you're going to use. We just want to make sure that we have that in our library prior to actually creating the Facebook ad, because the follow-up is so important and we want to make sure we have that in place. So I'm going to just pause there for a second and just see if anybody has any questions or conversation or any discussion around that, either in chat, or feel free to unmute yourself as well.
Yeah, I've got a question related to that. So when we create the Facebook ad and we automatically add it to a smart plan, it's going to trigger that smart plan when they click on the ad, right? And the question I had there is a lot of people snurfle around at like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And if we have it automated to wait 24 hours to send a text, is it going to start texting them at like 2 or 3 in the morning?
So that's a great question. So with Twilio, if we have Twilio set up, Twilio text messages in our time zone only go out from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if the lead comes in after 6 p.m., they're not going to receive any sort of text until 10 o'clock in the morning. However, emails can go out within 5 minutes, anytime, 24 hours a day. So what we do recommend is the first task is either to make a phone call that if it comes in at 2 a.m., you're calling them at a specific time, or that we have it be an automatic email where, yes, that goes out automatically. However, they're on at 2 a.m. looking at home, so they might be okay with that. But yeah, text messages will never go out from you at 3 a.m. That's a great question. Anybody else, any questions just around adding the smart plan before we dive into actually building out the campaign? Good, okay. And I think someone has maybe like hold music or something. So I'll just, if you guys don't mind muting yourself, if you've got any of that background. I'm just trying to see if I can figure out who it is. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's dive into campaigns. So I'm gonna, again, click on that red box. That allows me to open up that window and we're gonna go into campaigns. Campaigns is what looks like the megaphone. So think of this as this is where you're getting your marketing message out. And so we wanna run this campaign. When we go into campaigns, the very, very easy way to go in to create that Facebook campaign is to just click at the top right. We've got a greenish button that says create campaign. So campaigns can be direct mail. We could send out postcards. They could be emails. What we're going to talk about today is a paid ad. We're going to talk about some of the best practices of running that paid ad. So we're going to click right up here at the top right, create campaign. And then you'll see you get this additional box with those 5 boxes of what type of campaign do we want to create. We are going to pick the first one, which is a social ad, which is a paid for campaign. It's as little as $1 a day, so we're not spending a ton of money. And again, if you download that PDF that we dropped in chat earlier, you'll see that the average cost per lead is very, very low based off of the leads that we're getting versus what we're spending on the ads. So we're going to choose social ad paid, which is the first one. Now, under the campaign name, it's important that we're actually naming this something that we're going to remember. Because if we have a campaign that we're running that works really well, we want to make sure that we know which one it was, because we do have the ability, once a campaign has ended, to go in and to duplicate that campaign. So let's say that we run a campaign today for a new listing that we have. That listing goes under contract, just like all of you guys are saying, in like 3 to 7 days on average. We get a new listing 10 days from now. We want to run the same type of ad, obviously with a different property, but we want to target the same types of people. We want to use the same budget. We can very easily come in and duplicate a campaign once we've run it. So don't name it what I'm naming it. Do as I say, not as I do, because I'm going to just call this August workshop, just so I have a clear understanding of what we're creating here. And then underneath, we're going to ask, what is your goal? And I'd love to hear from you guys. So if you want to drop in chat, and we'll kind of pick 3 together. So do we want to advertise a listing? Do we want to attract listings, or do we want to attract buyers? So if you guys just want to do, we'll say 1 is advertise listing, 2 is attract listings, 3 is attract buyers. If you just want to drop a 1, 2, or 3 in chat for me of which one you would probably like to run. So advertise listing, attract listings, and then attract buyers. And we'll go with the one that we see winning, which seems to be number 2 based off of feedback, which is we want to attract listings. And that could mean we have a listing and we want to attract additional listings. Now, we also have the options to advertise multiple listings, attract talent. Sometimes I get questions on that. If we're a market center leadership team and we're wanting to find agents, that's a great one. Also, if you're a team and you're wanting to build your team out and you're looking for buyer specialist or listing specialist or admin, attract talent is good for that. Brand awareness really is just about your brand and marketing yourself or your team. And then event awareness might be around an open house, might be around some sort of event that you're holding for the local community. And then attracting buyers. And then other is really if it doesn't really fall into any of these categories and I just want to do it differently. So we heard from the people, we're going to do attract listings. This is your workshop, not mine. And then underneath that is where we have to decide where will our campaign run. Now, if you've gotten to this point and you see that you don't have any options here, that means that in your settings, your Facebook account is not hooked up to your command platform. So if that's something that you need help with, definitely get with your Market Center tech trainer, or some of you have a director of agent services in your Market Center, and they can absolutely walk you through the best practices of that. I'm going to pick Facebook. So I find that a lot of us are using Facebook for this, so we're going to use that. I do just want to pause for a second because you'll notice I have Facebook and I also have Instagram. So what's really nice about this platform is I could come in and say, I want to run an ad on Facebook and I want to run the same ad on Instagram. And command will actually create 2 separate ads for me at one time. So it will say, this is how the Facebook ad will show. This is how the Instagram ad will show. So I don't have to come in and create Facebook and then come back in and create Instagram. It allows me to do both of them at the same time. And I can actually determine how much money I want to spend on each specific one, which is really nice. So again, we're going to say we want to attract listings and we're going to run this on Facebook. And then all we have to do is click on that button right down here that says create campaign. Now you'll notice that I can come in here and I can actually pull a listing in. I said I wanted to attract listings. So this is encouraging me to maybe find sellers. And so I can come in here if I want to actually add one of my own listings, I could come right up here. I can click on add listing. You'll see you'll have an option right over here that says show only my listings. Sometimes if your listings aren't showing up here, click on search all listings and then we can come back into only my listings and it almost refreshes it just a little bit. We do have the ability to look at active, off market, all statuses, so we can take a look at that. And then up here, we do have the ability to search by the MLS number, the listing agent, or the property address as well. So I'm actually going to bypass a listing and we'll actually build out the ad ourselves. All right, so I'm going to come in. I'm going to come into here.
Just worked for the year for him, then asked him today if she's getting a 1099 at the end of the year.
Let me just
Like, well, yeah,
someone.
I have to.
There we go. Okay, so we're going to come into, you'll see down here under the text, we've got main copy that they've actually already created for you. Now, if we don't like this, we have a couple options here. So this says again, and this is where picking that goal is so important because the system starts to understand, okay, if this is the goal of what you want to do, here's the wording we think that you should use here. So it tells me right here, the main copy is thinking of selling, not sure if now is the right time. We can help you find out what your home is worth in today's market. Contact us today. If I don't like that suggestion, I can click right here on the shuffle button and it actually changes the wording there. This home is going to sell fast. Learn more about this home before anyone else. So I could pull that in if I would like. If I like this one, I can go back to it and I'm going to say, yeah, I'm okay with that. I like that suggestion right there. If I wanted to add emojis, because you will notice if you downloaded that PDF that I dropped in chat, a lot of the ones that are top performing ads do have some emojis that are placed in there. So if I wanted to add emojis into it, I can click right down here on what looks like the little emoji. I can search up here. So if I wanted to search for a house, I can drop that in right there and add any additional ones that I would like. Now, what you'll notice is over here on the right is where it will start to build out the ad for me. So a question that I get a lot is I never saw the ad before it went. Like, how do I know there weren't any typos or misspellings? So we want to make sure that we're always paying attention over here as this ad is being built out, because this is how it's going to truly look. Underneath, we're going to add the headline. And so right here, the headline is going to show right down here at the bottom. And I'm just gonna put right here, we'll put for our headline. We'll just put thinking of selling. And again, I can come in here and change that if I decide that's not what I want. And then down here, the description is try this, find out what your home is worth in today's market. Again, if I don't love that, I'm gonna hit shuffle. And then we'll use this suggestion. Let me tell you about your neighborhood housing market today. So I'm gonna just put that right there. Once we're comfortable with everything that we've put in here as far as the text, we just wanna make sure that we're saving our work. So I'm gonna hit that save button right down there. Then we get into the media where we can configure the media. So those of you that have run a Facebook ad, I'd like for you to drop in chat for me. When you're running a Facebook ad, do you do a photo or do you do a video? So if you can just, those of you that have created a Facebook ad, whether it's through command or whether it's just the Facebook directly, do you usually do, okay, so we have some that have done both, some that have done photo. So we'll see what else comes in. Okay, we've done both. Photos have done both as well. Okay, so you have options. We have options that we can do images or we can do video. With videos, I would recommend like short snippets, right? We know we all have the attention span of a goldfish right now. So we don't need to do that full like virtual tour of anything that's like a 2-minute tour there. So we want it like really quick. If TikTok has taught us anything, it's that like we want that quick, really quick stuff, right? Under images, we just want to make sure that if we're adding images of the property, that they are those high resolution. They're not from your iPhone where your finger is in front of it, that they're just really nice quality photos that someone would actually want to click on for that. So just make sure when you're doing this that it looks the way that you would like for it to. We've got images that we can pull from. We've also got video that we can pull from. I'm going to do images and I'll show you, we have the ability to come in here and to select the media. I can choose from a listing. So if I said, this is my listing and this is what I want to use, I could choose, if I don't want the first photo from MLS, I could choose whatever photo I would like there. I can add images by either browsing my design library. So if I created something in designs prior to this, I could do that. Or I could upload an image. So if I have something saved on my computer, I can do that right here as well. I'll see what I have here in designs library that I can pull from. Okay, perfect. So this is just a fake one that I have. So I will say, okay, we like this one, and I'm going to choose preview and crop image. You'll see it's going to then tell you square is going to be best for most placements. However, if you have a different sort of photo, if we're doing a story on Facebook or on Instagram, we can determine what that is. But we'll keep this as a square. And then we're just going to hit save image. And then you'll see right here how now this photo shows up perfectly. Now, if you can see it on my screen, I have the
Andre, did you use your contact lens?
Hang on 1 second. Let me just mute. If you guys are just jumping on and you're in a room, if you can just mute for me. So notice how down here, I've got 2 different logos. This Carolinas region logo is on the right. If I don't like the placement of that, how it is on the ad, I can just move it to the left and then it moves it right over there. So once we're comfortable with the image, we're good with that. Again, we're going to hit save, and then we're going to get into the really fun stuff here. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Facebook settings. Now you'll see up here, remember that for us to even have gotten this far, we have to have a Facebook page that's associated with our command account. This is where we're going to determine whose account this is. It's probably going to be your personal account. And then there's a chance that you have multiple business pages that are associated with your account. So sometimes we find that you have a real estate page, and then you might also have like a neighborhood page that you're running if you're part of the HOA or anything like that. So we have to determine what page we want this ad to be run from. So I'm going to pick my business page for me as a trainer, and then you'll see, just do a little spot check here. We're going to come right up here and we're going to make sure that this is the headshot associated with that page. Make sure this is the name of the page, because this is who that is going to be associated with. So the ad is going to run off of this page. Take some time here because we're really done building out the ad. Take some time here to take a look at it and make sure there's no typos. The photo looks good, because once we hit that published campaign that we're going to get to, this is off and running and we really can't make any changes to it. So just take some time here, take a look at it, make sure there's no typos, make sure we're good, and we can move on. So let's go into where do we want to send the leads once they click on this. So what I mean by that is if we click right here where it says learn more, where are we then sending them? What's happening to that? So I always like to know this. Would you guys do me a favor? Type in chat. This has nothing to do with real estate. What's the last thing that you purchased online? So when you were online and you were shopping, what is the last thing that you purchased? I am so excited to find out what responses we get here. So what is the last thing that you guys purchased online? Okay, so some books, oh, school supplies, computer mouse, balloons on Amazon, Aston Martin. Oh my gosh, look at you, a vacuum belt, book and a belt, facial cream, a flea tick, of birthday presents. Yeah, if we can get it online, right, we are buying it. So people are online, people are searching shoes. I'd love to know what books you guys ordered, if they're good books. I'm always looking for a good one. So the point of the story is you're like, if I can get it online, I'm getting it there. And so we know people are searching online. So we just want to make sure that once they click on the ad, we're taking them to something of value. So here's like a big tip for you guys. Underneath on the destination, we'll see that we have options here of where do we want to send them. And it even tells you that the Facebook lead generation form is what we recommend. So bear with me while I explain this. Here's what that means. Someone views this ad, they click on learn more. It then takes them to a Facebook lead gen form where Facebook pulls their information, and that is what comes into you in your command platform as a lead. So Facebook is kind of doing the dirty work right here for you. They're scrubbing the data, they're getting their name, they're getting their email address that's associated with their Facebook account. If their phone number is associated, they're getting that. So they're getting all the data for you. If we say, I'm going to go against the recommendation and I'm going to send them to this site or landing page, that is fine. I just really encourage you, you've got to have something on this site or landing page that is capturing their information. If you find that you are running a Facebook ad and you are getting lots of impressions, meaning tons of people are looking at this particular ad, and you're not getting a lot of leads that are coming in, 9 times out of 10, we see that it's because you picked a site or landing page to take them to rather than the lead gen form for that. So again, it tells you right here that we highly recommend it. Just a note that we definitely recommend. Those of you that have run a Facebook ad, what I'd love to hear, and you can unmute yourself and let us know, or feel free to drop it in chat. Down here, we have the opportunity to then say, okay, this is the website that I want them to be taken to once they come in as a lead. I'd like to know, what website do you take them to? So if anybody has ever run one of these and they want to drop that in chat of what they've done there, I would love to hear that. See if we get any responses. Seller's booklet. Okay, love that, John. One that sends out like a seller's booklet for them. Mobile app site. I love that. Okay, we can also pick a landing page from kw.com. Love that. You guys have some really good stuff that you're sending them to. So here's a big recommendation. Let's think about ourselves a little bit as a consumer, right? So I'm going to go, I have a training website that I use just for teaching. And so let's say that, give me 1 second, because I'm going to actually search for something. Okay. Perfect. So let's say that in our ad, we write something about maybe a particular listing, or where maybe we say like interested to know for what homes are selling for in your area. So we're doing something where we really want to pull those specific leads in. If I just send them to my homepage, which is this, so just the homepage of my website, they're probably going to click out of this. if we're really being honest, right? This is just another home search site. They have to come in here, they have to search. They're kind of just gonna maybe scroll down and see like, okay, if I wanted to fill out information, I could, but that's below the fold. I just don't know how much engagement there's going to be here. Versus if we come to our website and we say, okay, the listing that I have is in this area. And so I'm going to come in here and I went in and I set up a search. So I went in as a consumer, I searched. So I'm actually going to walk you guys through this right now. So somebody drop a zip code for me in chat of an area where you work. So someone just drop a zip code. Okay, Brittany was first, 28150. Got to be quick to the draw. Okay, so we're going to do 28150 and we're going to search for listings near there. So again, all I've done is I just came into my website like I was a consumer and I'm doing a home search. And then it takes me to where all of these beautiful homes are in this really nice area that you guys added. Love that. So I can come in here and I can say, okay, show me everything that's just for sale. Show me all of that. So I can come in here and again, I'm thinking like a consumer, right? And then I'm going to take, this is the page that I'm going to take, and this is what I'm going to add as my link. Because you guys tell me, let me zoom out just a little bit. If you were a consumer, are you more likely to stay on this page and look around versus this page? So who thinks that they're more likely to stay here? Just drop a yes or a no. Are they more likely to stay and kind of maneuver around if we're sending them to this page versus this? Yeah, 100%. So think like a consumer. Let's just do a little bit of the work for them anytime that we can. So all I've done is I pulled up my website and I went in and I just searched by that zip code. You guys could do neighborhood. If this was your listing, we could say, here's the listing that we really want to advertise, and we can take this page and drop them directly to it. So just if this is the habit to just throw your website up there, let's just take it one step further and make it so that the consumer is more likely to stay on this site, save properties, find out who the agent is. We have more engagement. We have a longer traffic of people on your website, which just increases your chances of showing up higher when people are Googling for you as the agent. So perfect. We're going to take this, you guys. We're going to take this as the link. We're going to copy that. So all I'm doing is copying this link. And then in the campaign, this is where I'm going to get rid of that right there because I already have it. I'm going to paste that. And that's the website it's going to take them to. So again, someone clicks over here on my ad. They want to learn more. Facebook is going to pull details in, and then they're going to be taken to this website. So they're going to find out more information. They're going to be able to see the listing, see the properties. So they're going to see all of that. So again, just make sure, take just those tiny little steps and find that website that's not just your homepage, so we can have a better consumer engagement there. Now, underneath here is where we are going to figure out what type of audience we want to have for this ad. Now, right here, the location is 20 miles outside of Charlotte because it knows my location. I'm going to actually come up here and I'm going to use custom settings, and I'm going to target a custom audience. I'm not going to target my database because I want to do an ad where I'm actually targeting people that I don't know. I'm looking for new leads here. And so the location I can actually do anywhere across the globe, which is really cool. I know a lot of you are in markets where you find people that are actually moving into your area at a rapid rate from different states or different areas. So if you had a new listing, imagine if we ran 2 ads, one in Charlotte where the listing is, and then one in a different state where we actually find more people are moving to Charlotte from. So you're increasing your chances of business in your local market, as well as business of people moving there that you could find as well. So again, you can run ads anywhere across the globe. We're going to stick with this area. And then the smallest radius that I can take it to is 15. So that's just a Facebook and a targeting rule. And that's the same no matter where you're building out the ad. Now I do have the option of coming down here and adding some interest. So what that means is right now, this is going to show up randomly to people that live in this area within 15 miles around this. If I want to come in here and I want to add some interest, so maybe I want to add interest, maybe this is an investment property. So maybe this is something that somebody just really wants to get rid of. And so this might be really good for an investor. If I just start to come in here and add those interests, you'll see I have like real estate investing. Maybe this is an area where we're seeing a lot of new construction and you have land that's for sale, and that might be good for real estate development to show in front of. So I can come in here and I can search by real estate, and I'll say real estate investing. We like that one. I'm going to also come up here. I can search by Zillow. So if I find someone that's really, they've put in their Facebook profile or they've liked pages that are similar to Zillow, and I want that here, I can add that. I can also do realtor.com. So I can do a bunch of things. Now let's think, I know a lot of times I work with a lot of you in different areas that are working with luxury property. And so we might find sometimes like that's more, I might even want to search and see what comes up when we do luxury. We can pull that up and see what comes up, luxury property. A lot of times you have area that's in more like farm and ranch. And so it might be more agriculture. We could add that. I can also just come in here and search for almost anything. Now we want to maybe add a couple of these, but we don't want to get too much of a filtering so that we're really like, nobody's going to see the ad. So there's not a magic number that I would tell you about. Get with your Market Center tech trainers, because I know a lot of them are really well versed in adding these ads or creating these ads in your local market. And so they might have some tips or tricks for you around that as well. However, know that you definitely have the ability. Betty, how do you find that information on what area people are coming from to your area? Yeah, Betty, I love that. So after we build out this ad, I'll actually show you how you can find that really easily through referrals. So that's a great question. And then I think someone was unmuting themselves. Is there a question?
Yeah, sorry about that. Question on the expert targeting, because that's been something that's always thrown me. So if we do no expert targeting, it's just casting a broad net to anyone and everyone, regardless of qualifications. But if we're using expert targeting, if I'm hearing correctly, it's better to use fewer targets than to use, let's say, like use 3 or 4 ones that we think are going to be good versus 20.
Correct. Yeah. And unless it is such a specific property that you're okay getting 2 leads if it's the actual quality of the leads. But I would tell you, like, I would stick with maybe that 3 to 5 of the expert targeting rather than drilling down so much.
Okay, thank you.
Zach, when doing an ad in another city, what do you title it as for the consumer to see? Yeah. So Zach, that's a great question. So if, let's say in your market, the average home price is $325,000. Let's say in the city where people are moving to your area from, the average home price is double that. I might put something like, check out what homes you can purchase for 300 to 400,000 in this area. I might put something like, you won't believe, how much this home is going for. So I don't necessarily want to put the price because I want to like entice them a little bit. But if we can know like the average home price there versus here, the enticement of what they get, or, check out all of this land. We see right now with people kind of being able to work from anywhere, that a lot of people are escaping cities to move to an area where they have a lot more land. So just kind of enticing them a little bit for that. That's a great question. So once I've come in here, I've done all the targeting that I want. I'm just going to hit save and we're good with that. Then we get into the lead settings. So you'll see this is why we wanted to make sure that we had the smart plan prepared prior to getting to this point. Because what we now have the ability to do when we're running a campaign is we can say, okay, any leads that come in from this campaign, I automatically want them to be added to this smart plan. So if we can think about this about a month ago, you would get a notification that a lead came in, and then you would have to come into command and you would have to determine what smart plan you then wanted them to be added to. What happens now is the second that a lead comes in, they can automatically be assigned to that smart plan without you having to do anything. So the first thing that we want to look at is, what do we want them to be tagged as? I do recommend that you have some sort of tag that is Facebook lead or something like that, just so that when we're looking at our ROI of what we're doing marketing wise, we're able to really see where they truly came from. They are going to be marked as leads, so you're going to see that. I just like to really have a clear understanding of what they came in from. If you wanted to go a step further and you're saying, okay, this is a listing ad that I ran, and we wanted to also say, I want to create a custom tag called listing ad, I could also do that. if I would like. So we do have the ability to create the custom ad here. I'm sorry, custom tag, as well as see the tags that we also have. So anything that we wanted to auto tag, we've got that here. And then directly underneath that is where we can determine what smart plan we would like them to be added to. So again, I have the one that I created for you guys, Carolina's Facebook lead smart plan. So I'm going to say anything that comes in as a lead, I automatically want them to be assigned to this smart plan. And then everything is just going to start. As soon as we've entered all of those details, same thing, we're going to hit save. Then we get into, oh, sorry, question. Okay, then we get into the duration and the budget of the ad, which you'll see nobody's recommending that we're spending like thousands of dollars on an ad. So they will tell you right up here, we recommend a 10 days campaign and a budget of $1 per channel per day. Ads may take up to 24 hours to be reviewed by Facebook before becoming active. So it's important to understand that if we're ever running an ad that is around a timing of something, so for example, it's an open house, it's a new listing, it's an event that you're having, we just need to make sure that we're creating the ad in enough time, because today is the 18th. You'll see that if I come in here, I can't even say that I want this to start on the 18th. So sometimes it can take up to 24 hours. I usually see on average that I get a confirmation that it's been run within like a 6 to 8 hour window. However, sometimes we will have that 24 hours. So again, I can't even start it until the 19th. And then it is recommending that it runs for 10 days. However, if you say, I only want to run it until the 25th, you can absolutely change that. Down here is where I can decide how much do I want to spend for this specific ad. So I have 30 in here just because that's what I think I ran the last one for. If I say I've never done this before and I'm not like really super comfortable and I don't want to throw a bunch of money at it, I want to do $25. It's telling you it's going to run for 6 days. You're going to get $4.17 daily of ad spend. And then we can just hit save right here. If we wanted to increase that, we can come up here and increase that, and you'll see that starts to change here. And then we would just hit save. And then I will not go to the next step, which is publishing the campaign, which would then really create this campaign right there for you. Now, let's say that you have gotten to this point and you're like, oh, I don't have the pictures yet. I couldn't add something up here, so I'm not really ready to publish it. We can save this as a draft at any time. We'll just do a quick confirmation that yes, we want to save this as a draft. And then you'll see when we go into our actual campaigns, we'll have this right here. The status will be a draft. We'll have all of the details right there. And then we can click on the 3 little dots over here and choose edit campaign. And that takes us right back into where we just were. So then we can go in and change the photos or change any text or anything like that. So I'm going to pause there for just a second before we kind of jump into what happens when leads come in, and just see if you guys have any questions, drop those in chat, or feel free to unmute if we have any questions on just what we've gone through so far.
So I haven't gone through this yet, but the payment part, do you have to have an account set up with Facebook and money in there, or does it come up and say, put in a credit card like you're buying something? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. So when I'm here, I can come up to the payments tab right up here, and that's where I can add my credit card information. So you'll see the credit cards that you have here. When we get to that point, when we get to the final where we're publishing it, that box would pop up and it would say, please enter your credit card details. Also, that's where you confirm what credit card you want to use. And then you will get, as soon as your ad is approved, you'll get an email that will come to you and it will say your ad has been approved. And it will also have a receipt for the charge of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anyone else? I thought maybe I heard someone. We're good. Okay. So you'll see that once your ad has completed, we'll have all of the details under this paid ad section. You'll be able to see how many days you ran the ad for, how much you spent, how many impressions you had, how many people clicked on it, and then how many leads came. Now the leads will come in automatically. Those you'll get a notification right up here that will say you have a new lead. You will also get a Kelly notification, which comes through the phone. And then pay attention. I'm a big fan. I'll show you on your dashboard. So when you first log into Command, you have a recent lead widget that you'll have. We can come in here and this will show any leads that have come in as well. So I'm a big fan of that because from here, I can unmark them. I can log some sort of activity. I could add them to another smart plan, which again, that's going to be taken care of as soon as we're building out the campaign, as long as we add them to a smart plan. However, this widget right here is just nice to have also. Question from someone. I feel like I heard an unmute from. No, we're good. Okay. So I do want to show, because that was a really great question in chat of how can we find where people are moving to or from. And so that's a really fantastic resource that you guys have in referrals. So I'm going to go into referrals, which again, I can click on that red box up here, go right down here to the referral section. And a lot of you might be really familiar with referrals because this is where we could go to find another agent with the company. But I'll show you a really nice new trick. So if we come into, I'll go into grow my network. And then by default, we've got production right here. I'm going to actually switch that to referral patterns. And then I can enter any area here. So we'll just do Charlotte. So if I enter an area and then I see referral patterns, you'll see I'm looking at what has been sent. So the largest number of referrals that have been sent from Charlotte to somewhere outside of the area is Asheville, Columbia, South Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Fort Mill. We do have some San Antonio, Texas, Cary, Colorado Springs. So we're looking at, which I know these are small percentages, but when we're talking about the amount of business that you guys as a region is doing, like 1% is huge. So I have the ability to see that. I also have the ability to see what's been received, meaning where are the largest percentage of referrals coming from to the area where I work. So we can see 6%, which is actually really high, is coming from Raleigh, Myrtle Beach, New Bern, Oklahoma City, York, Newark, Wilmington, Greensburg. So with Charlotte, we kind of do get, we've got obviously the first 3 are within kind of our region right there, but then we really get into different states. So this is really helpful if you're running those ads and wanting to target other areas. This is also, this has nothing to do with this class, but this is also, I would tell you to come in here and put where you live and find that top area and make sure, do you have an agent in that area that is aware of where you work and you know where they work? Because we could go ahead and have that referral partner in place. And again, how did I get to this page? Yeah, Sarah, absolutely. So to get here, we just go to referrals. So once we go right into referrals, we can come up here to the map as well, but I just, by a force of habit, I go to grow my network. And then the drop down right here is what I just want to change to referral patterns. So the default drop down is generally going to be production. I can drop it to referral patterns and then just search by the area right here. This is also a really great tool to be able to find market centers. So sometimes you might have your friend that just got their real estate license and you want to know the closest market center. This allows you to see that anywhere across the globe as well. So we can see all of that. Impression price higher than the total amount spent. So I spent 50 on it, Grant. I'd have to look at it, but that was also a recruiting one, which is really different than those have very, very different metrics than like listings or anything like that. Yeah, have you guys, has anybody ever used the referral patterns? Yes or no, just drop that in chat for me. This is like, you came for Facebook and you stayed for referral patterns. And I hope you're happy you did. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to stop the share really quickly and just, I love to see everybody's faces and see any questions on anything that we covered, anything outside of this, anything I can answer for you at all.
Is there any way I can get you to go back and show one more time the where the lead page is, the URL you used?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me 1 second. Let me just move my my screen. Give me 1 second. I'll pull that up. So you mean when I built out the ad, this is the link that we want them to go to?
Yes.
I'm hearing that, right? Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. Okay, so what I did, all I did at first is I just went to my website. So this is, all of you have a KW website. You can find it under consumer if you don't know what it is, but all of you have your own Keller Williams website. And so all I did is I didn't go in as an agent. I just went to this like I was a consumer searching. And then down here, I'm going to search by a specific area. So I'll just search. We'll just do Charlotte again. So I can search by city. I can search by zip code. I can do anything I want. And so all I'm really doing is coming in as a consumer and searching. And so then if this is the website that I want them to potentially go to, I'm just copying this link. So I'm just coming right up here where this link is, and I'm just copying. And then that's what I'm pasting, excuse me, into where I put the ad, the URL for the website right there. Hopefully, if that doesn't answer, let me know. And then
That's exactly what I was wondering.
okay, great. Videos are saved. I'll find that YouTube right now and drop it into the chat for you guys. Let me just pull that up. And then in your Carolinas Facebook ad smart plan, does the individual agent need to change it to make it their own? Jill, that's a great question. So I've added it where nothing is branded to me. So you shouldn't have to go in and make any changes. I do recommend, just because we all kind of speak and sound differently. So obviously that was kind of written in my voice. So I do just recommend that you go in and take a look at it and just make sure, does it really sound like you? Does it make sense? But I didn't put like my, contact information in there or anything. So you should be good with that. Can you please? Yeah, let me give me 1 second. I'm just finding the YouTube channel right here. So I'm going to drop that right in here. Give me 1 second. So everybody should receive this. So here's the link to the Carolinas region YouTube channel. So that's where this recording will be, as well as any other classes. And then I'm just going to stop my share again, and I'll pull up that document for you. And this is the ad examples. Let me just find the chat. Perfect. So we'll drop that right in here. And then that's a PDF that you feel free to download. It's from a mastermind. It's just got examples of some top performing, and you'll actually see how much they spent over on the right. They've added that as text. So hopefully that's helpful to you guys as well. Any other questions from anyone?
Hey, this is Anissa. When I went to my referrals, all of them are going out of the city, not coming into the city. So how do I switch that over?
So people are only moving out in your area. They're not moving in.
I guess.
Just kidding. Yeah, let me pull it up. Hang on 1 second. Yeah. It's like a button that at first you don't notice, and then you'll be like, okay, got it. So when I first come in here, you'll see at the top, I have two little buttons right here. So if I click on this, it will change. And then if I click, so this right here is received, and then this right here is sent. So if I hover over it and click, they should change right there.
Okay, yeah, I tried that and it's not changing. So.
And you're in referral patterns and you have data right here?
Yeah.
Okay, what browser are you in by chance? Are you in Chrome?
Chrome. Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, so yeah, if you want, we can definitely look at it. If you have a Market Center tech trainer, they can look at it too.
Yeah. Okay.
Something weird going on. And if it's not working, we can definitely escalate that. All right, let me see. Let me just check the chat. How can designs? Yeah, Tammy, so they absolutely can. So designs is, if we think of designs, that's where we can go in and create any marketing materials. So we could go in and we could create something for a new listing. We could have something really nice. And then that design essentially is what we could use as the image in our campaign. So that's the way when we go in to add the image, we can pull it in from designs if we've created it prior, or you could just say, I just want a photo of the house. That's all I want. So you definitely have the ability. What I created in the demo was a design. So it was like a new listing one that I had created in designs previously that I just pulled in. So you definitely have the ability to do that. What is your recommendation for using ads, Facebook Ads Manager or paid ads through command? Yeah, so I'm a big fan of using it through command, and there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, the leads automatically come in and then they're automatically on a smart plan. So if I'm running this directly through Facebook, I have to then pull the leads into something, and then I have to go in and set them up on that. Whereas through command, they're automatically in your database. We can see all of the details. They're automatically added to a smart plan, especially when we're running it this way. We know that speed to lead is just so important. So I'm a much bigger fan of doing that here. Let me see. Okay, refresh the page and it worked. Awesome. I don't see the link to the ads here in the chat. So I did it as a PDF. I'll try to drop it one more time for there. And then when running an ad and your set budget is $30, is there a max number of clicks per ad? Nope, there's not. So it's basically, it's almost like credits if we can think of it. And so it's gonna run the $30 over that time. So it might say this day we're spending $5, but sometimes it sees more clicks. So it increases it a little bit. So it kind of like runs all of it behind the scenes for you to get the best return on the investment for that. So let me just see, I'll add that one more time, that PDF. And then if you still can't see it, we can definitely see if your market center grabbed it and they got it for you. But I'll drop it one more time for you. You'll just have to click on it and then it'll allow you to download it. Let's see, it looks like we're up to speed with that. Yes, Sarah. Yeah, if you want to use that one, you just want to make sure that you're using, if you want to use that smart plan, we would just need to make sure we have that set up. What amount per day do you recommend? Yeah, so Jill, honestly, like they recommend the minimum $1 per day. I don't know. I don't like to spend money just to spend money. So I would say like, okay, I've never run an ad before. Let's throw 50 bucks at this and see what it does. And then I'd kind of go from there because it is still kind of market specific on what's performing well and what's not. So I would kind of start with that and see what goes from there. Okay, looks like that's it, you guys. So again, the recording will be available on our YouTube channel. Thank you guys, all of you that came here. I appreciate you all so much. And it's just a pleasure to be with you. And then as a reminder, I teach a class once a month for the region. All of the dates are on the calendar coming up. So we've got September, October, November, December, and I'll be making a flyer for it because we're actually doing something really exciting. We're going through the entire lead gen model from the MREA book around command. So we'll be going through the 4 laws of your database according to lead gen. So we'll be talking about law 1 is to build a database. And we'll talk about not just here's how you enter a contact, we'll talk about best practices around that. Law 2 is to feed it every day. Law 3 is to systematically, make sure you're staying top of mind with them. So we will go through those 4. It will be Wednesdays, I believe, from 2 to 3 o'clock, but check with your market center because it will be hopefully on their training calendar and that'll be starting in September. So that's how we'll finish out the year for all of that. All right, you guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. I'm going to stop the recording.